is Valley News Live at 5.
Good afternoon, everyone. Pretty yucky conditions out there right now. A stark contrast to the clear sky and warmer temps over the past few days. Let's begin with the latest on our continuing transition. And Hutch is here with the very latest. Hutch?
Mike, thanks so much. Giving you a first alert to the changes taking place since last Friday. We declared a first alert weather day, and it is certainly changing as we speak. Rain falling through the valley, and where we see the dark greens and yellows making their way through the Red River Valley counties. Now we have a band of heavier rain showers, some approaching an inch of rain as this works its way through, drying out to the west. That's what's going on now. Notice the blue near the international border. Some areas, including near Langdon, could be seeing a flake or two of snow mixing in. First alert weather day declared for Thursday and for Friday. And we have round two, an Alberta clipper that will be making its way through on Saturday. We have updates on everything. First and foremost, Thursday. It will snow a prolonged portion of the day in the northern valley, and it will make its way into the southern valley later in the day. Snowfall by nighttime hours could be over 8 inches for some by Thursday night. Friday, the snow continues into the midday hours, and for some, we're talking over 10 inches of snow potential. For some. We'll detail all about where that's going to happen here in a minute. And some good news, that Saturday clipper system looks to have a different track than it did yesterday, and it looks to be a little less impactful. We're going to keep you apprised of all of these, but let's take a look at that snowfall potential by tomorrow evening. Travel could be difficult in northern Minnesota and the northern valley, but along and south of, say, Highway 200, those snowfall amounts will be lower, but it snows all night into Friday as well. Have hour-by-hour details, Mike, on what you can expect, but you know, it's about time to get rid of the squeegees and find the shovels and gas up the snow blowers up north. I'll have those details, what you can expect in a moment.
Good advice. Thanks. Authorities have yet to release the name of a man who died after being pinned under a vehicle that he was working on. It happened this morning in the 1300 block of 34th Avenue South in Moorhead. A man who saw the incident tried to free the victim. New at 5, a North Fargo restaurant owner took to Facebook to call out a man who didn't pay for his meal. After people started defending the Dine and Dasher, she posted a video saying she's fed up with such happenings. As Valley News Team's J.C. Dodd found out, the woman said it's time to hold people accountable.
Like many restaurants in the metro, the Shack on Broadway has had its share of trials throughout the past year. Labor shortages, supply shortages, 5 weeks ago, vandalism. A few weeks later, an attempted break-in that cost over $4,000 in damages.
Again, you know, and it's just kind of for us been one thing after another lately.
Then this man was caught on camera leaving the Shack without paying for his number 7 French toast meal with coffee yesterday. Bail is fed up. She says this happens at least once a week.
Enough is enough.
She took to Facebook to make an example of the Dine and Dasher, but people came to his defense, offering to pay for the meal themselves and saying it's not going to make or break the Shack.
That bothers me, that it's not okay, no matter what it costs me for the food expense, you know, and the labor and stuff like that, it's still stealing.
But Bale says she's struggling.
Food costs have gone up, labor costs have gone up.
As she works to keep the restaurant running every day, she hopes people will be more kind.
I am the kind of person where if somebody was down on their luck and they truly needed a meal or help with it, I would have helped them out. However, I am a business. I'm not a soup kitchen.
In North Fargo, J.C. Dodd, Valley News Live.
Now, despite all the drama, Bale says that the Shack will be offering all veterans a free meal tomorrow to say thank you for their service. An attorney with the North Dakota AG's office says the owner of Glosser Images may be deleting evidence. Jack Glosser had his first court appearance this morning in which more than 50 people logged on to Zoom. The attorney pointed to websites and social media sites that have been shut down, as well as emails, reviews, and messages that appear to be missing. In response, Glosser's attorney says that they're still working to compile all of that info. The state is asking that Glosser commits to ensuring that all evidence be preserved. The judge said that he'll consider the request and wait for responses to be filed before deciding. A $5,000 reward is being offered for any information on a missing person case out of the Turtle Mountain Indian Reservation. Stephen Longy has been missing since last October. The FBI says they presume he is dead and that they believe foul play contributed to his disappearance and death. If you have any information, call the number on your screen. It's toll-free 1-800-CALL-FBI. Bond has been set at $50,000 cash for a man facing a second-degree assault charges for an Oakley, Minnesota shooting. Authorities say Oliver Burhow admitted to shooting Cody Landris during a struggle. Burhow says he suspected that Landris and another man stole several firearms from him. Burhow says that the shooting occurred when Landris confronted him with a bat. According to court documents, Landris was shot above the eye and placed in a medically induced coma. A fire scene in Dilworth is now turned into a crime scene. Police are ruling that the fire that destroyed multiple garages in Dilworth is that of an arsonist. It happened at apartments along 5th Street South. The building had to be evacuated, but no serious injuries were reported. 2 vehicles were also destroyed. Authorities say there are no suspects at this time. Watch out for needles on the side of the road. Authorities in Beltrami County shared this picture on Facebook saying that needles were found along a highway near Milton, Minnesota. Now this could be dangerous, especially for kids, say, riding their bikes or going for walks. You can safely dispose of needles at police or fire departments or at medical facilities. Kyle Rittenhouse, on trial for homicide, took the witness stand today in his own defense in his trial in Kenosha, Wisconsin. The teenager is charged in the fatal shooting of 2 men and shooting that injured a third during the often violent protests that erupted after a police-involved shooting. His attorneys just hours ago asking for a mistrial. Dan Scheneman has the very latest.
I hope you got it.
Yes.
High drama in the courtroom. Kyle Rittenhouse facing homicide charges, taking the stand in his own defense.
And there were there were 3 people right there.
Breaking down during his testimony as defense attorney Mark Richards asked him about the night he shot 3 people. First, Joseph Rosenbaum, fatally.
As you see him lunging at you, what do?
I shoot him.
And how many times did you shoot?
I believe 4.
And his fatal encounter with Anthony Huber.
He grabs my gun and I can feel it pulling away from me, and I can feel the strap starting to come off my body.
And what do you do then?
I fire 1 shot.
And in all 3 cases insisting,
So I didn't do anything wrong. I defended myself.
during a tense cross-examination,
So I don't know what you're up to.
the judge scolding prosecutor Thomas Binger for mentioning Rittenhouse's silence after the shootings, as Binger tried to paint the witness as someone from out of town taking matters into his own hands.
You're not living in Kenosha at this time when this all happens, right?
My dad lives in Kenosha.
Lots of people live in Kenosha, but you didn't, right?
My residence was in Antioch.
A crucial day in a closely watched trial. Dan Scheneman, NBC News.
Meanwhile, the Green Bay Packers and their star quarterback are being fined for violating COVID rules. The NFL penalizing the team $300,000 and Rodgers just under $15,000 for attending a party while unvaccinated. Packers wide receiver Alan Lazard was also fined for violating NFL's COVID protocols. The team was warned that future COVID violations could result in the loss of draft picks. The West Fargo police officer who suffered a heart attack while on duty is now listed in stable condition. Officer Tim Brown is off a ventilator and a heart bypass machine. The 29-year-old was booking 2 women into the Cass County Jail on Halloween when he collapsed and became unresponsive. He is recovering at a Nebraska medical center. A GoFundMe has been set up to raise money for Officer Brown and his family. You can find more information on how to help on our website at valleynewslive.com. A biography of George Floyd is in the works. 2 Washington Post reporters will be covering everything from his family history in the tobacco fields of North Carolina to his murder last year in Minneapolis. The book, titled His Name is George Floyd, One Man's Life and the Struggle for Racial Justice, will come out next May. One of the country's best-known candy and snack brands is scooping up a booming North Dakota business. The Hershey Company announcing today it's buying Dot's Pretzels. Dot's was started more than a decade ago by Dot Henke in her Velva, North Dakota home kitchen. The purchase is part of a larger $1.2 billion acquisition that includes Pretzels Inc., that's a co-manufacturer of pretzels for Dot's and several other customers. Inflation is at its worst in 30 years. After the weather, Valley News Live digs into what the president says he's going to do about it.
And the weather is changing. Grab your bag of pretzels, sit down, and I'll have the very latest. We have rain making its way through now, and tomorrow it's going to look like a completely different scene for many. The first of two First Alert weather days for Thursday and Friday, and another one on Saturday. I'll have hour-by-hour forecast facts next.